Thanks, Jim. First of all, I'm always proud to be in front of the Patriots of America. I also want to thank the Courier-Journal for their outstanding coverage this morning of the annual Spalding University rat race. I thought they were talking about the Washington, D.C. or possibly Frankfort, Kentucky, because we have people in our Congress, in a state government, who are undermining the country that we have lived in, prospered in, and loved so much, the United States of America. Can I get this over here? I got to move around. I have my notes, I never look at them. How do we get here? You know, I was going to talk about something different, but I think I'm going to go this route. The biggest problem I've said since day one is the corruption in the media, the corruption in our Congress, and basic corruption in every part of our society. How do we do it? How do we get this way? I go back to my youth, which is 40 some odd years ago, and don't laugh. Back in 1985. If you go on your internet, you can Google this gentleman. His name is Yuri Bezmenov. Yuri Bezmenov was a KGB operative. I learned about him through one of my guests, Jeff Nyquist. And here's another man you need to find out about. Don't believe what I have to tell you here. It's up to each and every one of us to educate ourselves, and that's where we're failing. That's why we're losing our country. Too many people are too apathetic. As a previous speaker said before, apathy is, I think it was Mandy, apathy is killing us. You know, I'm so sick and tired of people coming up to me, friends of mine, well, we're really glad that you're doing what you're doing, and we're really happy, you know, that you're speaking out for us. So I turn around and say to them, well, what are you doing? I don't want any platitudes. I don't need your thanks. Either donate to my show, donate to the Tea Party, or donate to people who are going to put in office that can save this country. I'm sick and tired of the people who then go to their country club and play golf. I mean, it just galls me. You know, I really am a pretty nice guy, really. I am somewhat becoming diplomatic. But, well, you have to be, you know, you can't tell your friends where you really suck. I mean, you know, there's an old Russian saying, you know, Barack Obama just if you heard the speech that Joe Biden fell asleep to, you know, and every time I want to take a nap, I turn on an Obama speech, because after 5 or 7 minutes, my eyes start, closing. But he said, this really galled me, and I think it galled every conservative in this country. He said that, you know, we have Social Security, we have Medicare, Medicaid, all these entitlement programs, and this is what's made America great today. Those commitments. That's what he said. Well, he's full of crap. Excuse me. America was great before any entitlements were ever given to any American in this country. The Constitution makes this country great. Not something that's given to anybody. The Founding Fathers wanted us to be self-reliant, hard-working, believers in God. Yes, God. That's right, liberals, progressives, God. I know that's a dirty word to those people. And this is the point of the matter. We've allowed these people to set the agenda, to set the tone, to work the language into their own profit. They use the language so well, while we have people in Washington, D.C. who can't articulate 2 and 2 is 4. The Republican Party is failing, ladies and gentlemen. Our leaders are impotent. They're just cowering in their corner or under their desks in Washington, D.C. We no longer can do that. Listen, I've never been a big Donald Trump fan, but at least Donald Trump is speaking out, putting the Democrats and the progressives on the defensive. And you can only retreat so far. They just retreated on the spending bill. They cut, this is great. These clowns in Washington caused the problems of Americans. They spend, since George W. Bush in 2007, since the Democrats took office, the debt was $8 trillion. In 4 years plus, since the Democrats have had both houses of Congress, they've almost doubled the debt. And they blame it on the Republicans. They blame it on George W. Bush. And where is George W. Bush? He never defends himself. He just lets it happen. And so do the Republicans. And that's why, listen, I've always said in numerous speeches before, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. And the Republicans don't get the grease because they don't demand anything. But back to Yuri Bezmenov. He said there were 4 stages to undermine America because the Soviet Union knew they couldn't defeat us in a nuclear war. They knew they couldn't defeat us in an invasion. They knew they couldn't defeat us with ideas and our prosperity. So they came up with the plan to corrupt the values of America. How did that happen? 4 stages. 1, demoralization. Demoralization of our schools, demoralization of our churches, demoralization of our government. And they got their friends in Hollywood to put out movies